Tinubu begs Supreme Court to reject CSU deposition and documents obtained by Atiku in the US. You don't read. Atiku say they don't already buy over the court. Why is Tinubu begging the court now? If it is true, he's begging the court, because I'm struggling to understand that actually. Okay, Tinubu has a court in his pocket. He has already written an appeal or an order to the Supreme Court to throw away or dismiss Atiku'S appeal. So now he's coming back now to say that they should not accept Atiku'S CSU deposition and documents obtained. Can you imagine? Okay, so let's dive into the details and see what is happening there. Mr. Tinubu further urged the Apex Court not to countenance the evidence of forgery submitted by Mr. Abubakar. Okay. President Bola Tinubu is pleading with the Supreme Court not to admit any fresh evidence from Atiku Abubakar, particularly the deposition of Caleb Westbridge, Registrar of the Chicago State University, on the grounds that it was alien to the proceedings since it was not initially tendered at the first court of trial. Can you imagine? So this is the problem I have. The propagandists in APC will come and say that Tinubu did not forge. They create a different narrative. The school has accepted that Tinubu attended the institution. So why are they making noise out of it? But at the same time, he was the person that was trying to block CSU from releasing the document article in the US. Now he's coming here now to block the Supreme Court from accepting the deposition. So if you think your hands are clean, why are you blocking all these things? That is it. Or why are you attempting to block them? There's something. There is obviously something. Mr. Tinubu asserted that the senior court must not encourage Mr. Abubakar's behavior of first filing bogus petitions and relegating the supply of evidence to buttress his claims till later. The president noted that his rival demonstrated the same behavior at the Elections Petition Tribunal. Appellant submissions under paragraph 6.45 of their brief further exposes the entire attitude of the appellant before the lower court. That is the attitude of first filing a petition and then fishing for evidence during the pendency of the petition, and even up to the point of appeal to his honorable court, contended the Nigerian leader. He further urged the Apex Court not to countenance the evidence of forgery submitted by Mr. Abubakar because it was never entered into the record or judgment of the tribunal that upheld this election victory and formed the basis for the plaintiff's appeal. Can you imagine? So the fact here remains that the Supreme Court can allow fresh evidence to buttress their case, because why are they bringing fresh evidence? To prove that the lower court carried out had a miscarriage of judgment. Okay, what they did was wrong, and they have to prove that the judgment of the lower court was wrong beyond reasonable doubt by submitting fresh evidence, as long as the evidence is relevant to the case, and that is it. So now Tinubu is not trying to find a way to ensure that the court does not admit it. They know say very bad in the smell. That is it. This is not a child's play. Without prejudice to our objection to this issue, we submit that the argument regarding a purported case number 1.23 CV 05009 rare application of Atiku for an order directing discovery from Chicago State University is alien to these proceedings, does not arise from the record or the judgment of the lower court, and cannot be countenanced by this honorable court. And we urge the court to so hold, the president stated. Can you imagine? And I'm sure all these things that we're reading now, it looks like a film. These are the things that the Supreme Court is going to use to pass judgment. They will come and tell us now that the evidence Tinubu tender or Atiku tendered is not part of the original evidence from the lower court. The same way they said the evidence that both Atiku and Peter Obi tendered in the court, they came very late or they did not put it on time. But meanwhile, it was an orchestrated effort they did to delay the whole process, to deny them access to INEC record so that they will run out of time. The same thing that is almost happening in this Supreme Court case. They will say it came out, it didn't come on time, or but that it came and it's not relevant to the case because it was not part of original filing at the lower court. All these technicalities are what is keeping Nigeria the way it is, and it's a very bad one. So, Mr. Abubakar, after several weeks of legal back and forth at the U.S. Court for the Northern District of Illinois in Chicago, succeeded in obtaining Mr. Tinubu's CSU educational record. The registrar's deposition further revealed that despite Mr. Tinubu's attendance and graduation from the university, the institution never issued him an original or replacement certificate. Can you imagine? So that is how bad it is. So APC tried to create a narrative that he has attended the university. So what is the fees about? But the fact here is that even though he attended and so graduated according to them, they never issued a certificate to him, and they never even issued a replacement one as well. So following Mr. Westberg's testimony, Mr. Abubakar and many Nigerians are now curious about where and how Mr. Tinubu obtained the certificate he submitted to INEC. But the presidential candidate of the People Democratic Party is determined to annul Mr. Tinubu's election victory, citing Section 137J of the Constitution, which stipulates that no person shall be eligible to be president if he has presented a forged certificate to the Independent National Electoral Commission. We have recently deactivated. Okay, so that is exactly what is happening here. So Tinubu generally is trying now to block the Supreme Court from accepting or admitting the evidences that Atiku brought from the U.S. court, which is Tinubu's academic record from the Chicago State University. Now, wow, how long you go block all these ones? Somebody is saying if you plead that U.S. court should not release the document as it will cause irreparable damage, after it is released, you say it is okay. Why asking Supreme Court again not to take the evidence if it means nothing as claimed? Exactly. This is the same question I'm asking. You try to block U.S. from releasing the report. They say no. They finally released it. Now you're coming to block the Supreme Court from admitting it. So if there's nothing wrong with it and your hands are clean, why are you blocking them? Why are you blocking them? This thing is that they have punctured hole into his presidency. That is it. Somebody said he wanted to make more fool of you people. To God be the glory. Can you imagine? So who are you? What are you saying now? He wanted to make more fool of who? Another person is commenting here saying why we can't predict the outcome. The Supreme Court is already pocketed. The ruling will surely be in favor of former president. That is it. This is Nigeria, and justice can easily be swept under the carpet. Your observation is a foregone conclusion. Hardly the court can be just in its ruling. It will not be just, exactly. The new Supreme Court gives verdict to favor Mr. or Mrs. forgery certificate. Every Nigerian should start prepare their forged certificate, period. Okay, their forged certificate. Can you imagine? Shameless certificate forger, everything about him, including his presidency, are all fake. That was smart to know. Somebody said you to go and fake everything and become president. Allow us to breathe. Can you imagine? These are the people supporting evil. Everybody cannot be evil because you are one. He cannot do it because he has conscience. That is another response again. Attack versus attack. Somebody say, where are the bats? If Atiku's effort in getting the CSU to release Tinubu's record and the position onto him means nothing, as being speculated by selfish politicians and ethnic bigots, why are they blackmailing the Supreme Court from receiving them as fresh evidence? That is it. For Nigeria. So that is what is happening. Thank you for listening. Let's have a comment.